This is the After Party, live with Kim McAllister. Pick a couch, grab a drink, and settle into the conversation.
You guys, hi, first of all, welcome to Travel Tuesday on the After Party Live. Can I tell you how excited I am? Like, I'm just coming out of my flesh with excitement that I get to have Glen be on from Australia today. It's going to be the coolest Travel Tuesday. We met last night here on the StreamYard platform to go through pictures and kind of narrow down what he's talking about today. And we're going to take a trip to Fraser Island, also called Gari Island, but it's spelled with an N, but it's not pronounced with the N. He'll tell us more about it in just a moment. I do want to take a moment to thank you to Jim Slayton, who throws down 10, says, welcome, Glen. Really, really cool, Jim. And Jim, I saw your post today that you went into this old mansion that's going to be torn down and they were having an estate sale. My heart was so sad that this piece of history is going away. That place is beautiful with all the arches and the columns and the finishes. If you guys get a chance, check out Jim Slayton's Facebook page. Maybe we can convince him to post it on the Mark Thompson Show fan discussion page. I should be paying you, Glen. Glen throwing down 20 Australian dollars. Thank you for having me on today, he writes. I hope you visit one day. Oh, all I need is an invitation and I'm there. That is awesome. And first of all, thank you for the contribution, Glen. You're super awesome. And again, I feel like I should be turning around and giving you the extra US 20 or whatever the equivalent is. I don't know the exchange rate, but thank you, thank you, thank you. I have a lot of Australian dollars under my belt now. All right, really quickly, because I don't want to linger on this. We try to be uplifting on this show, but also there are some stories that I feel like we need to know what's going on in the world. And since we don't have time to talk about them on the Mark Thompson Show, I want to make note. This is still happening. This is a huge problem. I promise that we're going to get to Glen right after this story, and it will be uplifting and lovely. But first of all, their shark fin issue has not gone away, despite laws against it. Look at this. This is the craziest thing. Officials have seized 50,000 shark fins. They were disguised as car parts coming into ports in the United States. The U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service seizing about 50,000 dried shark fins at ports across the United States. That's 50,000 sharks that died, because don't they cut the fins off and just leave the rest of the shark to sink to the bottom of the sea? The U.S. officials in total found more than 1,600 pounds of shark fins. Were they to be sold, it would be more than $1 million worth. They were found in 20 different shipments. They were disguised as car parts. The first shipment found in Anchorage, Alaska. That led to more busts in Alaska, Kentucky, Cincinnati, Ohio. The illegal trafficking network sends the fins from Mexico to Hong Kong. According to the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, they call it a staggering number of fins, predominantly from silky sharks and the big eye thresher sharks, and both of them are protected under the Convention on International Trade in Endangered Species of Wild Fauna and Flora. All of these fins were seized for multiple violation of wildlife laws, and the good part of this is, despite the staggering number of shark deaths that this represents, is that by seizing it, they call it a strong step forward in stopping the illegal trade of a threatened species. So important to know it's happening, but boy, is that ever sad. You know what's not sad, though? Travel Tuesday is upon us, and for that, we're going to a really cool little island that I had never heard of before, but it is breathtaking. And for that, I welcome Glen all the way from Australia to tell us about this island, about what it means to his family, and to give us the perspective that the locals have. Welcome, Glen.
Hi, everyone. Hi, Kim.
Hi.
G'day and aloha if Karen's in the audience.
Aloha to Karen. Aloha, everybody. I have I'll give you the applause there. There you have it. Okay, thank you so much for being here. You're going to talk to us today about this island, which can you help me pronounce the name?
The official Aboriginal name is Gari. The K is silent. That was its original name. Then that name got taken away, and it was named Fraser Island after Eliza Fraser, who was shipwrecked there. I don't know why, but anyway, that occurred many, many years ago. And then the Australian government decided to give the name back to its original owners, the Aboriginal people of Australia.
The water is so blue.
All right,
Wow.
there's Lake Mackenzie. That is the jewel in the tourist crown for Fraser Island, or Gari. Sorry, I've been saying Fraser Island since I was 10 years old, so it's hard to shake that habit. But the water there is crystal clear. In fact, you could actually drink it, but you
Wow.
may get a little bit sick.
So I have two maps, well, three maps. The one behind you, first of all. And then this one, this is your son. Is his name is Huxley?
That's Huxley, yes, named after Aldous Huxley, A Brave New World.
So cute. So there you guys are in front of the map. I brought up a map that maybe people can see a little more in detail with the spots on the map. Where are we starting? Are we starting with getting there?
Yes, okay. There's my old Subaru from back about the year 2000. The sort of mountains there that you see in the back, that's called the Coloured Sands, and it's and there's a beautiful bay there which is sheltered in a storm. Lots of boats go in there, and in fact they just go there to hang out because it's just so glorious. But you can drive up from the far end on the left. There's a cutting that comes through there up from the Sunshine Coast. You can drive along the beach up there, then you go through the cutting, and then you can drive up that beach at low tide. But be warned, if you risk it, when you're almost at Rainbow Beach and the tide is coming in and your tires sink down, there has been literally thousands of vehicles lost there. So it's a wise person who turns around and goes back and takes the long way. And that's my old Ford, that big red thing. That's an Australian ex-wife Falcon Ute from about 1971. It wasn't pretty or fast or anything, but man, nothing could stop that beast.
And you didn't lose it in the surf.
Oh no, I wasn't that stupid, Kim. I know I look silly, but yeah, I don't take risks.
So is that the main way onto the island then, to drive onto the beach and get around it that way?
99% of people, yeah, would go
Okay.
that way because it's a part of the adventure. You drive up to Rainbow Beach and there's a little bit at the end of the town. It would be to the right-hand side of the screen, probably about 10 miles from that spot. But there's a little cutting where you go off the road goes from tar to dirt. Then there's a little sand spit. I don't know if you can see it right at the bottom down here. Can you see that? Hang on, I'll just tilt. Can you see there where my finger is?
Yeah.
Okay, that's Inskip Point. A funny video made there on YouTube. A lot of them called "I Got Bogged at Inskip Point." It gets really, really soft and boggy, and because there's so much traffic there, with the cars and towing not cars, 4-wheel drives and Subarus. And a lot of them towing caravans. So, the vehicles are struggling. It's all chopped up and they've got to get it on the barge. And they just mosey down there slowly and just boom, they just get bogged straight away. So there's people there with their gazebos and drinking beers and just videoing everything and then posting it all on YouTube. Someone's pain is always someone else's pleasure.
So tell me why this island is important to your family.
Okay, well, to start with, Gari is the world's largest sand island. It's approximately 75 miles long. It's World Heritage listed, and as you can see, pristine, crystal clear waters, lush rainforests, freshwater lakes. I think it boasts something like 500 odd species of birds, all different sorts of mammals, lots of insect life, and of course, the big goannas. If you're unfamiliar with a goanna, think of a monitor lizard. They grow up to about 6, 7, 8 feet long. Have got claws, but they don't really bite. Once upon a time, there were horses on the island, but I think they were up the north end. They've all I think they've either died out or what was left of them have been relocated. And of course, the dingoes, which I guess we'll get more into. But the reason why it's so special to me is because I had been going up there with my dad since about 1975. Used to take up a little Honda 50 motorbike, and I'd be zooming all around the sand dunes. And of course, there was plenty of other kids there to hang out with. And I'd be fishing with Dad, and we would just have a great time. So I just kept that tradition going. Mates of mine and I have gone up there so many times. I don't know how many times I've been there, in all honesty. And then when Christine and I got together in 1998, that little white Subaru that you saw a picture of, we bought that, and it was pretty much the first thing we did was go up there. That big red ute, it's been up there. Other four-wheel drives that I've had, even my current Subaru Forester, it's been up there half a dozen times. It's just a beautiful place. It's an escape away from
at least
madness.
what you have said. We'll go there to see the wildlife, bird watch, to check out the dingoes that are on the beach, and to see the marine life as well.
Absolutely, yeah. You will often see dolphins in the surf. You'll see schools of dolphins, and that thing there, it's a slug. It's not marine life. That was in its central station. It was just on a tree. In all honesty, I've never ever seen one like that. So it may be native just to the island.
Beautiful. And this is not an unsurprising sight either. Dingoes on the beach.
No, absolutely not. Yeah, they're everywhere, and they will come right up to you, hoping that you will feed them. Never ever feed them. Do not interact with them. They can be just quite docile, and they're just on the hunt for something, especially when it's hot. Like lions and that. They just hang out, waiting, hoping for something. Don't do much, but they want you to feed them, but never ever feed them. Don't interact with them, and you never ever ever go for a walk at night by yourself. You'll always have someone with you and have a big stick or whatever like that. But I mean, really, you don't go walking on the beach at night. And children,
you don't let your kids go.
Under 3
You
years
said
old should never ever be alone, because they just see them as a T-bone steak, and they can attack. People have been attacked, and quite savagely. Those animals have either been destroyed or relocated, depending on the severity of the attack. But the Queensland government and the Parks and Wildlife Services are all over it. They monitor all the animals and the people very closely. There's zero tolerance to everything on the island. You will abide by all the rules and conditions and laws, or they're right onto you and you're out of there.
Wow. I was trying to figure out what the equivalent would be in the United States to dingoes, because these creatures, they look like friendly dogs, right? But they're not. They're wild animals that will tear you apart. Would you kind of liken it to maybe coyotes or wolves, or perhaps mountain lions here, that they live on the periphery, but we don't really interact with them?
Yes, certainly not wolves. They're not a big animal. They're very slender, as you can see. They're very lean. They don't bark. They don't really make much noise, except that, like you can see that one there, they will howl at night. So, they can come up on you without you being aware. But I guess you would liken them to a coyote. My understanding is coyotes aren't a large canine. They're not very big. They wouldn't be any bigger than, say, a golden retriever. But yeah, of course, they can be very, very savage.
So
You just
interesting.
need to be aware. There are signs everywhere. When you go on the island, you get your camping permits and all that sort of stuff. You always receive pamphlets online. There are the dangers about them. They are extremely vocal. Every stop you go where there is a little mini car park on the beach, or at the camping facilities, at barbecue huts that may be scattered around the island, there are signs everywhere, especially about dingoes. They really ram it down your throat to be careful of these animals. And really, 99.9 times out of 100, even more, they're fine. You just need to know what to do.
So interesting. Yeah, the consensus here is we liken them to coyotes. It looks like, yeah, people are saying, yeah, kind of like a coyote. Nullifidian, I think, facetiously asking if they make good pets. There's always one crazy person in the crowd, Glenn, who would have a dingo as a pet. I'm sure people do it.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, people do have them as pets. And Noel is correct. In fact, there was a movie back in the 80s with Stacy Keach. Anyone who knows Sergeant Stadenko from the Cheech and Chong movies, Up in Smoke, he was a truck driver and he had a dingo as a pet with him in the truck.
Oh, okay.
But
That's cool.
People do have them as pets. Highly not recommended.
Not recommended. Louise throws in a 10 and says, "Aloha, my after party Ohana, sending greetings from high atop Now, aka the Sleeping Giant Trail on the island of Kauai." Louise, welcome aboard and thank you. Cool. And aloha, friend. So hope you have a wonderful time.
Aloha,
and that you're
Louise.
Enjoying. Yeah, absolutely. So, okay, Glenn, let's head out. What's the first stop on our Fraser Island, Gari Island adventure?
Okay. All right. Are you on me?
Let me take the dingo away. There it is. Okay.
All right. So we can start down here in your 4-wheel drive and over on the ferry, which is about a 20-car ferry. Nothing spectacular. Don't expect it to be anything like you would see in America. It's very boring. You just drive on it. You sit there for 15 minutes and listen to the lovely diesel, and then the ramp comes down at the front, and you drive off. So from there, now if it's low tide, you can get around here, which is called Hook Point. Once again, it's about 15-20 minutes up the beach. But if the tide's coming in, you can't make it. And if you try, it's going to be the end of a holiday over very, very fast and sad and expensive. Just to get off the island, probably, $500 to tow your vehicle off the island.
Wow.
So not a problem. You take from here, there's a little inland track, and it brings you out here at a place called Dili Village. Dili Village isn't really like a tourist hotspot. There's a little shop. You can buy a drink, and I think you can get fuel there. You can camp. Mainly, it's a very small airport for those just little single engine planes.
Mm-hmm.
In case someone needs to be medevaced off the island in an emergency, or you've got an important meeting or something, you can get out of there quickly. Anyway, from Dili Village, that's really nothing. It's just up the beach. Then you drive up further to here, which is called Yurong, and that's that's a shot from my little balcony that I stayed there one time. So it's probably the most budget priced accommodation on the island. There isn't a lot of accommodation as far as houses and resorts and that, but this is sort of all encompassing. It's got everything there. There's a small restaurant, it's 3-star. But you're not looking for fantastic food when you're there. There's a bar. There's a great little bakery there. There's a little bait and tackle shop, and you can buy. Oh, it's like a 7-Eleven convenience store, and they've got a fuel bowser there. You think fuel prices are expensive now? You don't want to run out of fuel when you're on Gari. Like I could go back 10 years, and the price was probably $3 per litre. So. Let's say $10 per gallon, your money. So you always fill up at Rainbow Beach and get the normal prices before you head over. But anyway, Euron's a beautiful little spot. It's got everything there. Lovely rooms, budget accommodation through to nice 3-bedroom units on the other side of the pool. If you had that shot there, I know you did have a shot of the pool, Kim. Really, really popular with the backpackers. Backpackers come from all over the world, and there'll be a group of 20 from Germany, Sweden, Canada, Japan, everywhere. These are the photo you're seeing now. That was I think it was a 2-bedroom unit that Christine and the boys and I stayed in one time, and they get bigger as you go up, but it's a lovely pool. And they bring drinks out to you, and the kids can have ice creams and donuts, and there's a little spa there. It's lovely, but just not super duper flash.
It looks really
great
nice.
Spot. Yeah, and it's a real tourist spot. The buses, they bring all the tourists there, so you can catch a day bus up there from Brisbane. It's a super long day. Like they pick you up at 5 o'clock in the morning. You don't get home till 8 o'clock at night, but they're like a bus with monster truck wheels on them, so they can travel on the soft sand and through the tracks. And so they take you to all the hot spots and give you lunch and morning, afternoon tea, and you go for a swim at Lake Mackenzie and see all those sort of things. But they always stop here and take them into the bakery, and everyone chows down on donuts and stuff. And pies. You guys don't really know about Australian pies. We have.
Are they different than American pies?
Yeah, they're not sweet. They're savoury. So you might have steak and bacon, or chicken and leek, or steak and kidney. There's a million different types.
So they're like more savory pies.
They're savoury, yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely, yeah, they're great. Everyone loves them. Once you've had one, you go, "Oh, baby, how long's this been going on for?" My kids could eat them 3 times a day, 7 days a week, no problem, no complaints.
Well, I'm loving this. Is Yurong? I think this is wonderful. Where are we going next?
Okay, from Yurong, where are we? Are you back on me, Kim? So over here. Next one is we've got Central Station, and that's where the picture of that funny looking slug was. Central Station once was a logging community. It's a beautiful, lush rainforest with trees not as big as your that Central Station there, not as big as your are they Californian giant redwoods? They're like them, but only half the size. The picture you're seeing there right now, that is actually a little creek. It's probably only about 3 or 4 inches deep, but it's said to be among the most pure water available on Earth. Now, I can't confirm that, and you're not allowed down there. There's a walkway. Everything must be left in its pristine condition. Once again, Parks and Wildlife ram this down your throat. You take home nothing but photos and memories. You don't touch anything. You don't climb over the walkways that have been provided for you and get down there and disturb nature. And of course, if you are found doing that, bye-bye, your holiday's over.
That's it. They haul you off the island.
They are super, super tough on the preservation of this island. Yeah, they don't make no bones about that. But anyway, Central Station, yes, they logged it back in, I think it was between the First and Second World War. I could be wrong. but now they stopped it because, they stopped it many years ago because the Australian government stepped in and said, you're just destroying this island, and you have to stop now. So Central Station now is just in its pure rainforest type. When you walk in there, you're walking into a rainforest, and there's little displays everywhere of what once happened. There's a few little miner huts and things like that, which they've turned into mini museums. So you can just go in there and have a look and read all the things and look at all the photos. And there's an old diesel, a really old diesel bulldozer still sitting there. There's ramps where they used to drive them onto and work on them. But once again, there's lots of picnic tables and fresh water and toilets, barbecue huts, all free, free electric barbecues and that sort of thing. So you just go in and enjoy it. And that's what you take with you, the memories and the photographs.
What type of trees were they logging there way back when?
Oh, you've got me, Kim. I don't know the type of tree, but huge, big, tall, probably pine. Pines are really big in Queensland. We have massive pine forests in between Brisbane and mainly the Sunshine Coast. The stretch between Brisbane and Sunshine Coast is just all you see is pine trees for the most part. So I'd say they may be pines, but not unlike your giant redwood, just nowhere near as big. Big, tall, straight trees. Wonderful for timber, furniture.
They say, according to Australia.dreamlike, they say it was a heavily logged area of satinay trees.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Satinay, I've never heard of that before.
Satinay.
And brush box that still remain.
Yeah.
So,
okay. Your brain's bigger than mine, Kim.
No, my internet might be, but yeah. Satinay. All right. Wow. All right.
Okay,
well, from here, we're going to where? Go ahead.
Okay, we're at Central Station now, and then it's all 4-wheel drive tracks. It's mainly one way on sand, so you must be in 4-wheel drive all the time.
Oh wow! Okay.
So from there, we're heading out to Lake Mackenzie, and that's where you can see those photos of the boys and I. And there's Huxley hamming it up for the camera, and to the left there, you can see a girl on a blow-up thing. She would be one of 200 people there on that day. There's people everywhere. They just love it. And there's a great big car park for you to park in. Once again, the Queensland government provide all that because they don't want you parking in anywhere except where you are supposed to be parking. There's big picnic area, again, toilets, showers, free electric barbecues. There's even a fenced-in area because the goannas often come out. They know the hot spots. The goannas come in and they try to get you to feed them. And of course, you don't want to do that because then you can't get rid of them.
Now, this is you and Zachary, right?
That's Zachary, my 14-year-old about to turn 15 in a fortnight. This is our one-on-one time. This is why it's been special with me. It was like Dad and I take Zachary one year, I take Huxley the following year, and then the year after that, we go as a family. And then the cycle starts again.
That's awesome. Very cool. So this is, you call it the crown jewel.
It is. And you can see why from that photo with Huxley there. It is just so beautiful going there for a swim. It's just a lovely day there. And, all the buses, they go there. You'll see all the backpackers there. It's very common. You walk down on the beach and you can hear 10 different languages when you get down there. And it's pearly white sand. It's soft to touch on your feet. And you can see where Huxley is, like it goes from sandy color and gets a bit darker to that aqua. And then where it's blue, it just drops off. And I don't know how deep it goes, but, it may be 100-foot deep. But from there, it drops off quite sharply. I've tried to dive down. I've free dive down to about 30 feet, but that's about as good as I am. My scuba diving days are over now, unfortunately.
All right. Okay. And I guess next would be Lake Wabi. Am I guessing right?
No, we'll go to over here to Kingfisher Bay.
Okay.
Now, Kingfisher Bay, you can come across from this is Harvey Bay. You might say Hervey Bay. That's one of the marinas there on screen. So yes, they'll take you over on a ferry, or you can fly over from Harvey Bay. Once again, Harvey Bay is just a beautiful place. Beautiful beaches, aqua clear water. Not a huge population. I don't know what it is, but it's I suppose 100,000 people, which for Queensland that's quite big. We've only got a population of about 5 million people in Queensland, but it's a lovely spot. We often go up there for my birthday and stay at a particular place down there on the beach. The kids love it, so we haven't done it for a few years, but we have done many times.
Is this the place you were telling me about that has the 5-star resort?
Kingfisher Bay. So you go from there straight across. If you're back on me, Cam, go from this tip here at Harvey Bay. There's the marina, and you go straight across to Kingfisher Bay.
Okay.
Just a short ride. This bay here is just an absolute hot spot. August, September for whale watching. There's a ton of whale watching boats, and they take you out for the whole day. Really, really known for whale watching.
And here's the resort.
Kingfisher Bay is a 5-star eco-type resort. It's for people that, if you're cashed up, you'll have a wonderful time there amongst nature. There are plenty of tours and things like that to do. Amenities are perfect. Food, the pool, everything about it is just first class. The only drawback is because it's on the western side of the island, you've got well over an hour's travel to get back to the eastern side. And of course, this strip here, this is where all the action is.
Okay.
Down here.
All right, take me to the action. Show me the action, Glenn.
Okay, and Lake Wabi. It's a very, very small lake, and it's there's a big sand blow that you can walk across to get there, which it's too big for me. But people get their sheet of cardboard and slide down that hill into the water.
Wow,
it's quite a hike to get there from the car park, in 35-degree heat in summer, which is high 90s for you, I guess. And we have really, really high humidity. So it'll be high 90s, but it'll also be in the 90s for the humidity. So it's a hard walk. As us Australians would say, it's a 3-stubby walk, which means you would drink 3 beers on the way there. But it's a lovely spot.
So they take cardboard and slide down the hill and go straight into the cool water.
Exactly, yeah. And then you just have a nice little swim there, and you will feel a little tiny fish nibble at your toes, but it doesn't hurt. It is a bit daunting the first time it happens to you, but hey, it's all a part of the experience.
So beware the nibbly fish at Lake Wabi.
Yeah. They don't have big razor-sharp teeth or anything like that. They're not piranhas.
That's funny.
They're only tiny little things. All right, so from Lake Wabi, let's head north. Oh, by the way, I don't know if you can see these coloured tracks. There's one here in green, another one there in brown, a purple one, a big blue one here. I don't know if they come up on the...
It's hard to make it out.
On the map.
Yeah.
But anyway, they're 4-wheel drive tracks. They're like it's like a tourist drive. So if you want to take the family on a lovely drive, these ones are family friendly for... so you're not getting the crap bounced out of you. You're not doing any hardcore monster truck type 4-wheel driving where you need to get out and winch and dig your tires out. These are ones that you can just go on a nice drive with the family.
Okay.
Anyway, so we're going to head north up here. This one here, where the pointer is Eli Creek. Now you should, there's Eli Creek. That's kind of on the way down to the ocean. Like it'll flow from the creek, and then it'll flow and eventually run down to the ocean, probably about 100 yards away from those people. There's Zach there. He's just gone down the walkway. What people do, and what Zach is about to do right there, is hop on a little air raft and you float down. So the creek itself, from where Zach is, it starts about 2 kilometers, a mile and a half inland. Once upon a time, you were able to walk through it up there, but they stopped that because people were wrecking it. So the cool, and when I say cool, I mean cold. Even in summer, you hop in and you feel it. But the cool water flows down. You hop on your little air raft and you float down to where that other photo was. And then you do it again and again and again and again until you're sick of it. And along this little beach strip here, it's quite vacant there at the moment. But it's if you remember the old days of going to the drive-in movies and you're looking for a park, that's what it's like. It's really hard to get a spot there because people just line up there with their gazebos and their beers and their pate and camembert cheese and smoked oysters and barbecues and just have a right old time. It's a whole day experience there if you want to do it.
So now once you float all the way down and you hop off to walk back up to do it again, how long is the walk back up to the point where you get back on and float?
Only about 5 minutes.
Yeah, that's not bad.
To where the people are there, and that's probably Zach there laying in the water, I'd say. It's probably 100, 150 yards in your language, roughly about the same in meters.
Yeah, that's not so bad. A
yeah,
floaty creek,
fun.
says Tammy. Love the floaty creek.
It is absolutely a floaty creek. It's great. Without the floaties, of course.
Tammy's also calling it Florida weather.
It would be, yeah. Absolutely, yes. From
Very
what
cool.
Tammy's taught me about Florida so far.
Now, this seems like a really fun day.
It is. It's great. So what you try and do a few of these in one day. You can't do everything in one day. That's for sure. It'll be like 5 minutes here, 5 minutes there, 5 minutes somewhere else, and you just wouldn't enjoy yourself. But you certainly do from Eurong. You'd certainly do Central Station and Lake Mackenzie. You could pop over to Kingfish if you want to. I mean, you're really only going over there from the east side. Just to say, I went and had a $15 beer and a $30 hamburger if you're cashed up. Or I've been there, but I didn't buy anything. Maybe a postcard. But then you'll go up to Happy Valley. Just there is like a smaller version of Eurong. There's a shop, you can buy fuel. There's a bar and a little restaurant. If you want to stop in there, it's nice. I mean, you pop in and just have a look around and maybe spend a little bit of money. Everyone appreciates keeping all the businesses afloat. You'll certainly go up to Eli Creek, definitely. And then the next one there is the Maheno, which I know you've got a picture of the old ship. The Maheno was a World War II hospital ship, which was being towed. There it is. That's what's left of it. Back after World War II, it was being towed from Japan, and it was going to be sold for scrap. So it was just a perfectly looking ship at the time. There was a big storm. It broke loose, and that's where it ended up, and it's been there ever since. Even now, and I don't think there is one there with Huxley and I, but there's like a small fence around it. You're not allowed to go right up to it anymore and touch it. As it was deteriorating over the years, people were, as you can imagine, climbing all over it and taking selfies and whatnot. And of course, some people got injured, the rust broke through and your leg went through the floor and you got cut. So once again, Queensland Government, Parks and Wildlife have stepped in and said, just take photos, enjoy the stop, read the signs and the plaques and all that sort of stuff. And just make that a bit of a quick stopover.
It seems very similar to we had an old ship on Treasure Island Beach in Aptos in kind of in the Santa Cruz area, and we call it the old cement ship, and it just kind of used to be able to walk all the way out, and then part of it collapsed, and then they put warning signs and warning tape up that you shouldn't go out anymore. But
Yeah,
same kind of thing where it was so heavy and so old that they just left it there, and it just became a bit of a landmark. And that seems kind of like what this is. This one, though, unlike
absolutely.
the one in Santa Cruz, it seems like it's right on the sand. There's no like this, it isn't out in the water. It's right. It's very easy to get to this.
Yeah, exactly. And of course, governments normally need to step in to save us from it ourselves,
Mhm.
because sometimes, as I say, our brains aren't braining. We we make stupid decisions. You don't want to make stupid decisions when you're so far away from the world, because you are a long way um, from help if you need it. Oh, there you go. There's a great shot of it. In
Yeah.
fact, it's probably in a lot worse shape than that. That may be 10 or 15 years old, that photo.
You mentioned being a long way from medical help, and it's funny because, and I forget the name of it now. You probably know it. I watched this show based in Australia about medical air ambulance and how so many places are so remote that this is for a lot of people. You have to take a medical helicopter to get any type of health care.
Yeah, the flying doctor service. They have
That
like
is Flying Doctor
twin
Service. That's the
engine,
name of it.
yeah, the twin engine 12-seater type planes. They're funded by the government, and also they rely heavily on people donating to them as well. You'll see lots of fundraisers for them on Facebook and
Mhm.
you know on TV when you get ads and things like that. So yeah, they are definitely a worthwhile cause. But of course, if something serious happened, if you were in a life-threatening situation, uh, there are ranger huts everywhere. You get mobile phone reception. There's no problem
Mhm.
there. So you just do your triple O. It is here instead of 911.
Okay.
So you call triple O, and you'll get immediate help. Now, depending on the severity of it, the rangers can get you straight off the island. They have big four-wheel drives and whatnot, like big Toyota Land Cruisers, trip carrier
Mhm.
type vehicles. They can get you off the island pretty quickly. But Gympie is Gympie. That's the closest big town past Rainbow Beach. They've got a big hospital there. They can fly a helicopter straight out. So yeah, they could have you off the island probably within half an hour, and
Okay.
then you would be in the big hospital at Gympie. So
But
yeah,
you're
you
saying try really hard not to fall through the Mahino or to get munched on by a dingo.
exactly, yes, a good rule of thumb. Remember those two things.
All
Okay,
right.
so if now if we go up there for a few days, Kim, this is what we would do. That would be day one. We would see all those things, and then on day two, um, after having a nice buffet breakfast in the restaurant at Yurong and filling up on food, away we would go. So we'd go past those. We may stop in at Cathedral Beach. There's another nice little shop and things like that. They're camping, accommodation. You might pop in there. There's a few other places that you'll look along the way. There's lots of like cliff faces with beautiful coloured sands, things
Hmm.
like that. Plenty of little walking trails and lookouts and things like that. Of course,
Wow.
you always keep an eye on the ocean, because you never know what you're going to see. You can see fish jumping in the surf. You can see dolphins. Depending on what time of year, you'll see the big water coming out of what is it, the spout on the humpback whales.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, definitely keep an eye out for that. There'll be people playing on the beach all over the place, and swimming and fishing. There's always people fishing. So but anyway, enjoy the nice big long drive up that beach, and then we get up here to what's called Indian Head. It's very easy these days because it's just a simple cutting to get through there. It's, once again, soft sand, so you don't drive like a granny going shopping.
Mm-hmm.
No offense to granny, sorry about that. Didn't mean to be sexist or racist or anything. But anyway, you need to approach with a bit of gusto because the sand is soft and you will get bogged if you don't get through here. But that goes up to the champagne pools, and
Oh.
that'll be our next spot there, Kim. And I know you've got photos there. They're volcanic rocks right on the ocean. And as the tide is coming in, and depending on the severity of the weather too, it can come flying over that in buckets or bathtubs full of water. You can see it flowing there, but it can splash 50, 80, 100 feet from there across everyone. And it's a series of little pools there. There's small fish. You'll see bream and whiting, and you may see little prawns and little crabs and things like that. Bream and whiting, I don't know if you have them
So
over there.
is it kind of like
But
a series of tide pools?
yes, absolutely. Yeah,
Okay.
there's 3 or 4 there, and you just go and hang out in them, swim. There's once again, it's from the top car park where you park. It's a lovely walk down. Once again, the Queensland government has erected a really good walkway down there with little places to stop. You can sit if you like, and just
Mm-hmm.
take photos, viewing platforms and that sort of thing. And then you walk down there, find a spot to hang your bag, your towels and things like that. Yeah, there you go. There's a great shot of it. Um, Not too much of a problem with the dingoes there. They don't really get down there because it's hard to get to, which I failed to mention to you before about the dingoes. When you go to Lake Mackenzie, there are signs everywhere saying, hang your belongings in the trees. The dingoes will steal them. You leave a bag, your hat, your sunglasses. I've learned the hard way. I've lost a hat there. They will pick it up and run with it. It's mine. It's on the
But
ground. It's mine.
but they can't climb trees, so you're supposed to hang your stuff up high?
Yeah, you hang them, yeah, they won't stand up. They're a bit on the lazy side too. So they won't stand up on their hind legs to try and get anything down. They'll just, if it's on the ground, they'll just grab your bag and run off with it. So, you'll see people chasing them to get their towels and mobile phones and stuff
Don't
back.
chase a dingo. No.
Oh, they'll probably let go because they know
Oh
that,
yeah?
I can't get away with this. They're quite intelligent. I can't get away with this big bag, so I'm just going to drop it and run before they hit me.
Okay.
So
All right.
anyway,
So
get
we've
back
got the
to the
champagne
champagne pools.
pools.
So yeah,
Mhm.
it's a wonderful spot to go and stop.
Looks
And generally
beautiful,
from
Glenn.
there, you may go there and hang out for a while.
Hmm.
There's toilets and that sort of thing back in the little car park.
Hmm.
From there, you can and you walk out there, out to the champagne pools, or you walk down to it. From there, you can go up to the next spot, which is back here, not up there. Orchid Beach. That's actually a community there. There are people that actually own houses there, and don't quote me on this, but I believe there was only a limited amount of houses there at Orchid Beach, and there are no further applications taken for permanent living on the island. These people that are there, they've probably been there for years and years and years, or it was
Yeah.
passed down to them from generations before. There's a shop there, some accommodation. There's a mechanic. As I was saying to you yesterday, Kim, that big red ute of mine sprung a leak in the radiator hose, and this is back in the 90s. And I thought, oh my God, this is going to cost me $500 for a radiator hose. Anyway, old mate in the shop there said, yeah, there you go, mate. There's a box of radiator hoses over there. Go through them, have a look, see if you can have a win. Rough as guts. So I found one that fit, and I said, okay, mate, yeah, this will do the job. very gingerly, how much is that going to be? Expecting it's going to cost me. He goes, yeah, $5, mate. That'll do. Yeah,
Oh,
she's right.
wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
so I was lucky. But a bit of a bush mechanic up there. You only go to them if you really, really
Mm-hmm.
have to.
This is Orchid Beach, by the way, that I'm showing you.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Fabulous
Wow.
fishing up there too. Certain time of year, around August, September, same time. It's cool for us that time of year. There's a particular type of fish called a tailor, Taylor. Just a slender silver fish, and they're prolific there that time of year. Not the best eating fish. They're okay, but they have a black pigment in them that they don't like, because we're used to seeing pearly white flesh on fish. If you
Mm-hmm.
close your eyes, you can't taste any different. But people go there because of the sport. A lot of people just catch them and
Mm-hmm.
release, catch and
Yeah.
release, catch and release, because it's fun. Because as soon as you throw your lure out in the water and use the great big surf rods to get out on the other side of the breakers, as soon as your lure hits the water, bam, you're on. Your rod's bending over. So it's quite sporty for a lot of people.
That's a Taylor fish.
Yeah, that's a monster. That's
It's
an
a monster
absolute
Taylor.
monster. Yeah, that is huge. Generally their size is a quarter of that. A quarter of that, you would be happy.
Yeah, that's big.
Yeah. All
Cool.
right, I'll try and fit two more quick ones in for you, Kim, if you've got
All right.
time.
Yeah.
This one here, up here, is called Nagala Rocks. There's a K in there somewhere. I won't try and spell it, but it's pronounced Nagala, which is, once again, an Aboriginal name.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a one at a time bypass, which goes around the surf at high tide. And most people like me, I have no interest in putting my Subaru through its paces to try and get through, because it's really steep, uphill, super duper soft sand, and it's the people who have got something to prove in their four-wheel drive that say, I got bogged at Nagala Rocks, or I had a crack at Nagala Rocks. The problem is someone's coming one way and someone's coming the other, and you're going at a great rate of knots. So there has been accidents there. But if someone's bogged in front of you and you don't see them, then you have to whack the brakes on, and then you're bogged. And you can be there for hours. And once again, it's the worst time of year is in summer, when it's 35 degrees or 90 degrees, odd for you guys. You don't want to be standing around there trying to wait your turn and get your car unbogged and get on, to the next thing. So most people will just avoid it, but people like to say, I can't get it, no, I got the sticker on the back window to say I made it through Nagala Rocks. So from there,
well, let me Kenley, before we move on, I have one more picture of Gala or Nagala Rock to show you. Check this one out. See this. Share the
and
screen.
If you go on YouTube, there's tons of videos on people there just filming, and you can feel their pain.
Yeah, look at that. Fact, they just drive right down onto the beach, into the water.
Yeah, you can. They may just have said, no, I'm not doing it, I'm going around, or they're just going down there to park for a while. But there's a guy there with a really old what's it called? It's one of those huge big Mercedes-Benz monster four-wheel drive things, and he's got like a flat back tow truck kind of arrangement.
Mm-hmm.
The back slides down. If you've seen those tilt tray tow trucks, well, it's one of those, and he'll take you off the island if you wreck your vehicle there. And there's been plenty wrecked there at great expense, of course. And he makes his own videos about all the numbnuts that he comes into contact with on a daily basis.
Tour-ons are us. Excellent.
So from Nagala, if you're that lucky, if you really want to be super duper hardcore, can you see that top pin?
All the way to the top, yeah.
Okay, that's the lighthouse at Sandy Cape. Now, it takes a brave person to get up there, because that stretch of beach between Nagala and Sandy Cape is super duper soft. Once again, you can you can definitely come to grief there, as the sand is generally always super soft. So you don't go up there in a mega four-wheel drive. You go up in something with much bigger tires than you normally would have, and you have them let right down. It's the experienced four-wheel driver that wants to go up there.
Wow. Once you're there, can you go to the top of the lighthouse?
I'm not sure. I don't remember actually going to the
Okay.
lighthouse. I may not have ever been there. I dare say you probably would be able to go to. You probably can't go in the lighthouse, but you would be
Okay.
able to go up there, and you would be able to, picnic and that sort of thing.
Sure,
And
it's
on the
pretty. It's
western
awesome.
side of the island, is generally, if you can see from the top, comes down all around down there. This is all no-go zone. You're not allowed over there at
Oh,
all.
what's
You
the
can
reason
get
for
over.
that?
It's once again super duper soft. They
Mhm.
probably people were there in years gone past, but there's probably some mangroves and things like that too, which are
Mhm.
impassable.
Yeah.
So they just haven't bothered. But absolutely gorgeous water. By all means, there's always lots and lots of sailboats and things like that up
Mhm.
here, for overnighters and weekends. The Whit Sundays, I don't know if you've ever heard of that, and the Great Barrier Reef, which I'm sure you all know
Yeah.
of. The Great Barrier Reef starts not far above the top of the island, at just out from um, the city of Bundaberg.
Mhm.
You may have heard of Bundaberg rum. It's our most famous Australian rum. Maybe not. I don't know.
No, I haven't heard of it.
Us
But my
Queenslanders,
mind is
yeah,
going thinking I sure would like to try some.
yeah. It's a
I'll
pretty brutal drink. There's a fight in every bottle.
have to bring my friend Nikki Maduro
Not
with
for
me.
me
She'll
though.
take care of it. Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, the Great Barrier Reef starts not far above there, and the Whit Sundays, which are up there too, are just magnificent, crystal clear islands, and it's a boatie's paradise.
Wow.
Same as this that area up there, Platypus Bay and Harvey Bay down here. It's just a mecca for boats.
So how long does it take you to get to this island from where you live? Is it like maybe a trip from me to Tahoe, like, 4.5-ish hours to get to Lake Tahoe? Is this kind of a less than a day's drive for you?
Yeah, it's a really easy drive. Do you have that photo, Kim, that I sent of you of a map from Brisbane to Rainbow Beach? It was like one of those Google maps, and it had the
I don't think
not that
I have
one.
this. I have this one, but I don't think I have. Oh, I have the map, the one of you guys standing by the map, I think.
No, it's a different one. But
Okay.
anyway, I live about 1.5 miles northwest of Brisbane City,
Hmm.
Brisbane being our capital of Queensland.
Hmm.
It's the biggest city. We've got about 2 million people. It covers quite a lot of area.
Hmm.
So from my house, travel north about 3 hours on the highway will get you to Rainbow Beach. Then you fill up the car, and of course, if I've got the kids with me, that will mean a pie or a donut or both, and a drink. Fill up the car, go down to the end of Rainbow where Inskip Point is, and then away you go on the ferry. So essentially, from my house, if you were to be pushing it, you could have white sand on your tires in 3.5 hours.
Oh,
By four
lovely.
hours, 4 hours you're traveling up the beach. I think, if I can remember correctly, last trip we left home at about 5 a.m. and we were at Eurong by about 9:30.
Oh, that's really good.
Yeah, we made pretty good time. We had low tide, so we were able to get around Hook Point
Yep.
and straight up the beach.
Perfect getaway for you guys.
Oh,
Wonderful.
it's great. It is. It's wonderful. Like it's not the cheapest thing to do. You have to buy a permit. So a beach permit. You can have day permits to go on the beach,
Hmm.
which range from about $13 a day. That's down on the Sunshine Coast. Fraser, well, Gari, I should say, you can only buy a minimum of a monthly permit. So
Mhm.
that's $86, I think. Let's say $90.
Yeah.
I don't know what that is in your money. I think it's about 70 Australian cents, uh,
Okay.
the
To a
exchange.
dollar. Yeah.
Um, it's $200 odd return on the ferry, which seems quite expensive, but it is what it is. They're private businesses, and keeps them going. When we go stay at Eurong in the off season, which is generally around this time of year, um, just the single rooms where you've got everything all in one room, they start at around $200 or $250, and that'll go right through to about $400 in peak period. So, if you go for a few days, it can be reasonably expensive, but,
Mhm.
it's the sort of place where this is the experience. It's like going skydiving or bungee
Sure.
jumping, like it's expensive to do, but you've got that memory forever, long after
Absolutely.
you've forgotten what you paid for it.
Yeah. A couple
So,
questions for you.
and the expense.
First of all, what the sizzle says, I am loving this. I feel like I'm in Australia today, which it is.
Oh,
It's
Sizzle, I can't wait for you to come and visit me.
so cool to have you share
I'm a
this with
great
us.
tour guide, by the way, guys.
I
Anyone who wants to come over, you look me up. We're
I,
going.
I
Hey, I'm
believe it.
semi-retired now. I've got time.
Mobius says, I'm thinking, how many days to properly explore this island would you need?
You can, if you wanted to spend a week there, you would pretty much cover everything if you wanted to. But a lot of that, because it's such a big island, it's quite deceiving. And,
Mhm.
you're only doing, I think the maximum speed limit is 40 kilometers an hour. That's 24 miles an hour in your terms,
Mhm.
when you're on those inland tracks. So, these tracks to go across from Eurong into Lake Mackenzie, it's best part of an hour's drive, because sometimes you have to stop, and there's a etiquette, because they're one-way tracks, a lot of them. So if you're going up a sandy hill, the one coming down will pull over. There's lots of little pullover
Sure.
spots, and they'll let you come up because you need to be going fast to get up. So even though they may not be great distances, it can take quite some time
Sure.
because
Rolling
of
slow.
the slow driving. And a
Yeah.
lot of the time, you can't drive fast because you just boom, 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 boom,
Sure.
bouncing up and down like crazy.
So
So
fun though.
there's lots and lots of lakes and things like that. Lakes have got turtles in them. There's,
Yeah.
as I said, I think there's something like over 500 species of bird life alone.
Wow.
Um, there's a lot to see. So if you
Yeah.
went there for a week, I'm sure you would be very satisfied after that time.
Be Aware says such an interesting area. There's a channel that I watch all the time. This gent, I think he was referring to you, is SE Queensland. Oh no, the gent that he watches on the channel, and it seems just as nice as Glen. Got to see this
Oh,
in
good.
person. Says Be Aware.
Yeah, there's plenty of people making videos about our area. That's for sure.
Yvonne
That's one
says,
thing about us Aussies. We're like Americans, and Canadians too. We are very proud of our country,
of course.
and we want people to come and visit us. We're very friendly people. You know, you all know what I'm like. I'm
Yeah.
very open. I'm a chatterbox, as it's pretty easy to tell. I'm actually in my element here because I'm doing all the talking. But a lot of Aussies are like me. We're very open and friendly, and we want people to come down and visit us.
You may have convinced us. There might be a group of 44, which is how many people are on right now, or maybe 100 and something, because a lot of people watch after the fact, that might be traveling as a group together and knocking on your door one morning saying, we're going to Fraser Island or Gari
Uh,
Island. Let's go.
Imagine a Mark Thompson show party coming to Australia to visit
It'd be so
Gary with
fun.
me. I'd be all over that like a rash. Big time.
Yvonne says, floating along with Glenn and family. This is priceless. Absolutely. Ranting teacher Lori says, I'm pretty sure I have a cool picture of that rusting wreck of a ship from my trip there in 1990. So she's been
Oh,
to this
wow.
island.
Oh, good
Wonderful.
on you, Larry.
Jane O wants to know the best time of year to visit.
Oh, it's debatable, Jano. We go in the off season, which is around Zach's birthday is the end of April. They're on school holidays then, and the prices generally come right down. So
Frozen
that's a
up.
good time. That's a good time to visit because it's cheaper. If you're thinking budget wise, of course, there's always camping. You pay something like $6 per person per night to camp in any of the camp areas. So that can be a lot better for people that are trying to squeeze every dollar out of it. We don't bother with the tents anymore, but it is starting to cool down. But you can swim that time of year. Remember, we're reverse from you, so in December, we swelter on Christmas Day. It can get up well into the 90s on Christmas Day. So yes, that time of year when the kids are on Christmas holidays, when they have their break, then the only problem is, yes, it's great for swimming, beautiful weather, crystal clear water, very little rain, very little wind, but just people are plenty, lots of traffic. In a way, you're fighting for the tracks and fighting for a park at the where you go to Lake Mackenzie or wherever.
Sure.
So that can be a drawback, but look, honestly, go any time of year. There's something for everyone there, any month of the year.
I love it. I feel like I've kept you way too long, and I don't want to wear out my welcome. But Susan says, so very nice of you, Glenn, to do this. What a wonderful presentation, incredible places to visit, and thanks me as well for having you on. I am lucky. As a matter of fact, I think both Glenn and I are hoping that this is the first of many. If you've gone someplace, I know for sure Dilette has been to Paris, loves it. I would love to see it through Dilette's eyes. I would love to see a place that's important to you, or a place that you've gone and have taken pictures and want to share with the group for Travel Tuesday. Send me a message. Come on. Let Glenn be the first of many. And Glenn, if you have other places you want to take us to in Australia, you're welcome back anytime. This is so fun for me.
Oh, Kim, you shouldn't have said that. You'll never get rid of me now.
You come back. People are hoping that you co-host the show. They're saying, bring him back.
Oh, you're all too nice. You really are. I'll tell you what, though, if you want to make it a date, we'll do the Gold Coast.
Love it.
And the Sunshine Coast another time. I grew up on the Gold Coast, and as a kid, probably Sausalito Vicky. It looks a lot like Sausalito there, and Tammy in Florida. Yes, and same sort of weather. It was absolutely whimsical to grow up as a kid. It was I just had a blast. There was nothing bad I could say about growing up on the Gold Coast back in the 70s and the 80s.
Wow.
So
yeah, come back.
We'll get our heads together again, Kim, and
let's do it.
But
absolutely,
let's hear from other people, because this will be wonderful seeing. I can't wait to see Paris and Japan and all those places.
Yeah,
our kids are on notice. When Huxley turns 18, we're trying to teach them how to cook and clean up their room and load the dishwasher and all that sort of stuff, because we've said, hey boys, as soon as you're 18, we're out of here. I can work all these years and build up my superannuation just to give it to you guys. So we're traveling.
SJ Lola says, more Glenn. Yes, absolutely. A lot of love for you in the chat, Glenn. Thank you for being on. Thank you for taking the time. Yeah, go ahead.
I meant to tell you too, I don't normally wear glasses, but the olive oil voice, Mark, talked me into wearing my credibility glasses.
You are incredibly credible. Yes. I believed everything you said. Awesome.
Good. Another sucker, one born every day.
You know what? I had never heard of this island before you brought it to us. So huge thank you for being here.
It is absolutely my pleasure to be here with you. Thank you all so much. And thank you to Kim for having me on your wonderful show.
Absolutely. All right, Glenn, we'll see you soon. We'll see you at the Gold Coast.
Love you guys.
Bye. Bye. What an absolute treat to have Glenn on the show. I know I'm over time, way over time. So the show is usually about an hour, and we're now at an hour 10. So I think that was worth it. I think that was amazing. And I loved having Glenn on and getting to meet him. And before I go, I do want to thank everyone who's contributed. Let's see, Glenn with his 20. He really donated to the show today in a lot more than one way. Thank you, Glenn, for coming on again. Jim, for a lovely welcome to Glenn. Thank you for the contribution. Luis, aloha to you in Kauai. Thank you for being here and thank you for the contribution. Maud, thank you for having an intriguing guest on. Maud throwing down 25. Thank you, Maud. Super awesome. Also looks like Cindy with a 10. Thank you for a great travel guest. Australia looks so beautiful. It sure is. And how fun to see it through his eyes and hear some of the experiences that he had with his family on the island. Very cool. Be aware, I can't tell you how sweet it was of Glenn to do this and clearly came well prepared. The Kim Possibles are the greatest. I completely agree with you. So thank you for all the contributions. Thank you to Glenn for coming on the show. Tomorrow is Waterfall Wednesday, so we will calm it down. If you have any contributions or any contributions idea-wise, I should say, please email me. It is kim@theafterparty.live, and I would love to showcase the waterfalls that you think are the most beautiful of all. And again, thank you to everyone for the contributions via the super chats and super stickers as we celebrate Glen and Gari Island, Fraser Island. Super fun to go there. And thank you to everyone who has contributed through PayPal as well. I wanted to make sure that I make sure to mention Wes, who is always contributing to this show and has done so again today. Scott R., Wes from yesterday, Amy S., Yvonne B. Those are the most recent names on the PayPal for this show. You'll find the information in the show description every day and in the About tab. So again, huge thank you. Tomorrow on the Mark Thompson Show, 11:30 a.m. Pacific time, John Rothman will be on the show. Liz Oyer will be on the show. And Belinda Weymouth will be on the show as well. So in addition to Glenn's amazing accent today, we get to hear Belinda's New Zealand accent. And I think I just saw one more thing pop through that I want to make note of, and that is Susan, who throws in 10. Thank you, Susan, for the contribution. You guys are so amazing. All right, until we meet again, think about Australia, and I hope that kind of percolates in your mind, and instead of all the stress of the world, you feel a little relaxation seeing the beauty that Glenn showed us today. Until we meet again, make it the very best rest of your Travel Tuesday. And for now, bye, everybody.
The After Party Live would like to thank the following contributors and viewers like you.
The good part is, even if we can't afford to travel, Glenn just took us on the most awesome trip. I feel like I just got home from somewhere great. Are you kidding me? That was so much fun.